Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the deep playthrough of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Second or even the third time I'm booting this up today. Earlier the game crashed while I was doing the takeoff checklist. And actually the recording wasn't running at the time. So it was actually good that it crashed, otherwise I maybe would have completed the whole journey without noticing that it was not recording. Then the other time PC reboots, everything seemed to be fine, but then the recording again didn't start and somehow went back to desktop, Control Alt deleted out of the game. Somehow Nvidia Shadowplay required an update, and that's the first time that it forces. It's really weird that it just stops working until you update. It's something fishy over there. Normally you can just decide on your own when you apply an update, and you can just continue working with an older version, but it wasn't even that old, the existing version. But anyways, Shadowplay stopped working. It is working now, it should work. Anyways, the plan today, have had some practice for this intro talk, because this is the second time I'm doing it. The plan is to go from St Bartholomew or St Barth in the Caribbean. We're gonna do a little island hopping trip over the Caribbean to the Bahamas, Nassau, which I find a pretty cool location. Not that I know it that well, but I only have one association with Nassau Bahamas, and that is James Bond. I think one of the Sean Connery movies had like this famous scene of a Bond girl walking out of the waves breaking in the sea, walking up to the beach towards 007, and yeah, that's pretty cool. What is also pretty cool is we're using live timing, live weather and live traffic in the Bahamas. It's I think somewhere around 9-10 a.m. and it's actually stormy. It doesn't look stormy, but if you look at the main menu, the preview window of the weather, it really indicated lightning and even rain, I think. So it could be quite a turbulent ride. Then normally I would do stuff like this in the Cessna. I really like it the best. It's an analog plane. You don't have all the modern avionics which really make it foolproof. It makes it almost a bit too easy, I would say. You have a big primary flight display in front of you and just follow the cursor and you're good. While in the Cessna you really have to pay attention to the heading indicator, the compass and stuff, and it also provides much better view outside with the wings on top. And in my view, holy shit, it's much better suited for a single person. There are other planes. Let's get, by the way, into the plane, and then maybe let's get outside for a bit. There are other planes, pretty cool. Like this one, I think I may have flown this one before. I flew most of them briefly. I think this one as well. The one we are now using is the Diamond DA62, I think. But so they are all pretty cool, but they are all pretty big as well. The one that I now chose, it is the smallest of the more modern little prop planes. This is of course a bit modern. It has a much higher cruise speed than the Cessna 152. It has a double engine. I think it's a turboprop. I'm not sure. But if you look at these ones, or the Cessna, I think it's a Cessna, that Caravan one, they more look like trucks to me. I mean, they're probably still cool and I will fly them, but for me still, the first plane I started playing with, it's still, that's of course the novice, beginner plane, the Cessna 152. It really is still one of the coolest planes around, if you ask me. But yeah, this just to mix it up, I am going with the Diamond DA62. This one I also used earlier. This is more of like a bush plane. I used this one in a previous episode when flying over a volcano in Hawaii. It's a very rough, rigid plane. It really can take a beating, I guess. And over there I think this would be a Cessna 172, I guess. Also pretty cool. Again, a little bit bigger. It really is a 4-seater. Cessna 152, it's really still my preferred plane, along with the Spitfire, of course. In the previous episodes went with the Spitfire from the UK to France, under the Eiffel Tower, under the Arc de Triomphe. It was pretty cool. And since then I also did a little mod. I increased the draw distance of the in the game. I set it from 200 to 800, so 4 times as much. Doesn't seem to really impact performance, so hopefully that provides a bit better visuals. Let's quickly check out the water. And I also have this mod with real live shipping traffic, which is pretty cool. It puts like 1300 pretty accurate ships in the game on routes and locations that they should be. So it's not random. So you would indeed expect a cruise ship like that in St Barth, and a little fishing trailer over there. So that is also pretty cool. That is the mods I have equipped, and very beautiful watercolor. And again, even for a flight sim, it just looks pretty amazing. You could almost just make like an RPG or a first-person shooter in this environment. Looks good enough. Anyways, let's get to the plane. I will run through the checklist. It's quite a big checklist actually, but it's also for me to force to get to grips with the cockpit. It's a very ergonomic, very user-friendly place, I must say. But yeah, I've only, I think, briefly earlier flown that Diamond DA62, so, and now we really will be doing a little bit longer flight, so I really have to get a little bit up to grips with the mechanics. So we will be doing the checklist, and of course I forgot to put on the timer. How long have I been in it for? Let's say 13 minutes or something, so 22 minutes left. Putting the timer now. Anyways, running through the checklists. The other thing I wanted to say is, for the first time I also put on potential mechanical failures, from engine to oil to gasoline to everything. I put it that it will randomly occur between 0 minutes and I think 9,999 or 99,999. I'm not sure. It are either 5 or 4 nines. So that really boils down to, if you fly for maybe an hour now, that I'm actually not sure how long our trip will be. I expect an hour or maybe a little bit longer, but then I think it boils down, if you calculate it, it's maybe a 0.1% chance or something, or maybe even a bit less. But at least it's not a non-zero chance that we will encounter an unexpected failure, which is pretty cool. So failures are on. This is the plane. Yeah, the only thing I'm hoping, yesterday I did a little offline flight from the Netherlands to the UK, just checking out that new shipping lane mod that I installed yesterday. It was in the, I think, the Cirrus SR22, a pretty similar plane like this. I think it is a single engine, but also quite modern. And the sound was just pretty annoying. If you compare it to the Cessna and the Spitfire, they all have pretty okay sounds to have in the background. But that Cirrus, it was pretty, yeah, in my experience, a bit annoying sound to have it droning for like an hour. And I really hope that this plane has a pretty okay sound. I have no idea, but yeah, we will just have to wait and see. Let's get in, let's run the checklist, and here we go. So this is the cockpit. Looks pretty clean, pretty modern, very ergonomical, not too many buttons and switches. It's all digital. As mentioned, I do prefer the analog feel of the older planes, but yeah, we of course also have to mix it up a bit. The view only, especially in front, it's really tiny windscreen. And to the sides, of course, the engine is blocking much of the view, but yeah, we will just bank a little bit, roll over, and then hopefully we will be able to check out the environment below. Alright, here we go. Let's do the checklist. Pre-flight inspection. It's pretty long, but I already did this in the attempt that eventually crashed, so I'm a bit faster hopefully now. Pre-flight inspection cockpit. Here we go. Parking brake needs to be set. It is set over here. Take it off. Fuel selectors need to go to the on position. Those are over here. Still have no idea how to do. Alright, like so, and then you can lock it so you don't actually put it off. Fuel selectors are on. Alternator, they both need to be on. Alternators are over here. Left, right, on. Check. Pitot heats, that is for the speed indicator. Little tube that gets in air from the outside and compares the pressure with something inside and then calculates the speed, I guess. That is, sometimes it can freeze up and then you have pitot heat. Not necessary here, so it goes to off. All these buttons seem down position is off, up position is on. And I think that is contrary to over here where the down position is on and the up position is off, which I find less optimal design decision. I would make that all uniform. Either everything up is on or everything down is on, but not some down and some up. It needs to be intuitive, I would say. Anyways, the pitot heat is off. Check engine master, check both. That's probably the master electricity switch. They are both left and right off. Check avionics master switch. That is the AV switch. That was also over here. It's off. Check gear selector, check down. Yeah, I think can only be down when you're standing on the tarmac, but yes, it's in the down position, and here you see the nose, left and right wheels. Probably those light up once they are in the down position. What the hell is that unsafe button over the light over there? Gear fire test. We also have a test button. And landing gear, you have different V's, speeds. Landing gear extended, landing gear operating extended. Extended is just down. Operating is when you are lowering it to the extended position. You can only do that below 205 knots indicated airspeed. And then you have, when you want to retract them. So operating, retracting, landing gear operated retracting or something. You can only pull the gear up below 162 knots indicated airspeed. Display backup, I really wonder what that one is. Anyways, let's check this one off. Then we do the flap selector. It's in the off up position. So mark the item, and you have like actually I think in this plane you need to do flaps on takeoff at up until 136 knots, and on landing below 119 you can also put the flaps actually to the second position. So takeoff is I think middle, and then fully extended, fully down is for landing. Probably you can also take off with the flaps up, I assume, but let's just later on put it to the takeoff position. Flap selector is checked, then all electrical equipment is off. Yeah, I don't see anything, and also the electricity master is on the off position. So let's check the item, and then the electricity master we need to put it to on. Here we go. Check the item. Garmin, I think the G1000 or 3000, I'm not sure, is booting up. Fuel quantity indicator. I was earlier looking for it, but also I don't understand these caution alerts. I don't see any, so not sure why it is blanking. I was looking for it, I couldn't find it, but it's I think in this secondary display. Yeah, now it's not here. Yeah, I assume it's over here. Fuel quantity gallon. We are good to go. I forgot to mention, I do think What I want to do actually is not directly going from St. Barth to the Nassau in the Bahamas. What actually the plan is to first make a little detour to the south over these islands, because there are some landmarks here. There are 2 landmarks, like detailed crafted buildings or structures, whatever it is, over here. And probably we will be flying, here's the mainland, I think, of South America. We will probably fly south towards over here somewhere, then turn around, then make our way to over here. No idea how far it is. It's maybe actually pretty far, but here is the Bahamas. But I don't think I have enough fuel for that. Just going in a straight line from St. Barth to the Bahamas would be okay, but that detour to the south, I think, just makes it a little bit too far to do it on the fuel I have on board. I did load up a bit extra above default, so the primary tanks are totally topped off, but the secondary tanks are only 50% full. So what we will need to do is, on our way to the Bahamas, find probably, yeah, I will probably then just, on our way back, either go back to St. Barth or maybe an island over here or over here. Just see if we see a landing strip and top off the fuel a bit before continuing further to the Bahamas. But the fuel for now, it seems to be 25 gallons. I'm not sure how that works, whether that is the both tanks, left and right, or I assume it is, but we do have 2 tanks, so to say. Anyways, let's cross off fuel quantity, check indication, let's check it off. Electricity master, somehow we again have to put it off. I have no idea why, but alright. And then we have the last one, and that is the control stick. We need to check for free and correct full travel. So left, right, down, up. Autopilot disk, C, push to talk, and CWS button. I have no idea what CWS is. I know the autopilot trim and autopilot disk. Alright, I'm making that a very short, quick learning moment. 1 second. A, B, disk, yoke. Let's see what it says. Ah, disconnect, of course. I thought it was some kind of a floppy disk or something, but autopilot disconnect, and then CWS. No ID. Let's quickly check it out. CWS. Control wheel steering. Basically, it allows you to set a pitch, attitude, turn rate using the yoke, which the autopilot will then maintain until instructed to do otherwise. Alright, so that's also an autopilot feature. We will not be using that for now. Anywho, this is all free travel. Let's check if it's the correct direction. This is left, so that seems to be going good. Left wing is going up, and the right wing, no, left wing is going down if you press left, and the right wing is going up, and vice versa with the right aileron. And then up and down, we need to imagine that we have somebody standing outside to check it, because we cannot see it from the inside. There is no rear window. But yoke down, it's the elevator in the down position, and yoke up. That's the correct orientation, I would say. So free and correct full travel, tick item. And page complete. Let's go to before starting the engine. Power levels need to go to idle. So that is the one over there. Let's put it to idle. And check off the item. Parking brake set. This is parking brake not set, and now it is set. Tick avionics master switch, check off. That's over here. Avionics. I think avionics is everything over here, and maybe also. Do we have analog displays? No, we have nothing analog in this plane as regards to gauges, except the one over there, which I think is the pressure. I think for the flaps or something. I have no idea what that one is. It says do not operate system below 200 psi. I'm not even sure what psi stands for. 1 second. Let's make that a quick second learning moment. You of course have bar, psi, pressure, meaning pounds per square inch. Alright, yeah, I knew that, I just forgot it. And then bar is, I think, barometric pressure. 1 second, let's check that one quickly. Alright, the bar is a metric unit of pressure, but not part of the international systems of units. It is defined as exactly equal to 1000 Pascal or 100 kilopascal, or slightly less than the current average atmospheric pressure on Earth at sea level, approximately 1 bar. Alright, so bar is not really, I think, a abbreviation. It's a unit in itself. What does bar stand for? It's a unit of pressure defined as 100 kilopascals. I'm still curious where the word came from. It's from barometric, I think. The word bar has its origin in the Greek word baros, meaning weight. The unit's official symbol is bar. The earlier symbol B is now depreciated and conflicts with the use of B denoting the unit barn. But it is still encountered especially as mega bar rather than the proper or millibar, I think, to denote the millibar. Yeah, M bar, MB. Alright, so that was a little learning moment of the day. But anyways, this gauge, it says do not operate below 200 pounds of pressure per square inch, I think, psi. That was it, right? Or am I now totally going crazy? Pounds per square inch, yes. Anywho, it is next to the flap lever or toggle, so I assume that it has maybe the hydraulic system of the flaps or something. You cannot operate it when it's only 200 bars, which makes sense because the little red section it's indeed up to 200, then it goes to 500 and then 1000. So that is indeed, if this all goes all the way to 4000 psi, then 200 is indeed almost literally nothing. Anyways, avionics master switch. So that is the only analog gauge I found in this plane. It's all off. Avionics master switch. Yeah, that's off. Tick item, and then the gear selector, check down. We already did that. So this is a little this engine checklist. It's quite duplicating items a lot relating to the pre-flight inspection checklist. But anyways, gear selector down, check. Alternators, already did it. Check both on. Fuel pump left hand, right hand. Those are right hand fuel pumps, left hand. They are both off. Tick item, electricity master, let's put it to on, and we go to the next one. Starting engine, strobe lights will go to on. Engine master left goes to on. We have an advisory popping up. Left glow on. Check left engine glow on. Ah, now earlier I couldn't find it, but I now quickly saw it. It pops up and then it disappears, but I did see it. So tick item, start, left button, press as required, engine starts. All right. All right. This is a really manageable sound. Sounds pretty light, I must say. Alright, hopefully it will not be an annoying sound. It sounds a bit like a hornet. Like an annoying little mosquito or something. Alright, check it up, or take it off. Check it off. Annunciations starter, check off. Alright, I'm not sure what that means, but the starter is off, I would say. Annunciations oil pressure. Oil pressure, it's just about in the green. So I would say good enough. I'm not sure what this means. Starter, check off. I'm also not sure why we're only starting the left engine. What do we have here? Starting engine. Yeah, there is nothing on the right engine. Alright, I'm doing it myself. I'm just starting the right engine as well. Alright, they're both running. Man, this is a silent airplane. Oil pressure is a little bit more in the green, so that's nice. Coolant temp is in the green. Fuel temps, I think they call it T's and T's, pressures and temperatures. They're all in the green, all within margin. Fuel flow, gallons per hour. Alright, and over here we have the RPM of the left and right engine, and here we have the loads of the left and right engine. I am going to tick off this item. Oil pressure is okay. Idle RPM around 710 RPM plus or minus 30. We are now at 650. So let's do a little bit more. Holy shit. We are now at... Alright, I'm not sure what's happening over here. Alright, this is way too sensitive in my book if I use the controller for this. Alright, I will just put it to totally idle. Whatever, it still runs. Or maybe I can very side. See what it does. Yeah, it immediately goes from 6 to 900. Maybe this is it, the sweet spot 7. Yeah, 780, and it's still too much, I would say. Oh, hitting the timer. Let's quickly complete the checklist. For me, it's good enough. Idle RPM. Opposite engine starts. Ah, repeat procedure. Ah, that's about the right engine, but we already did that, so check it off. After starting the engine, avionics master on. Alright, not sure what avionics are. Avionics are your flight controls and stuff and information, right? As far as I see, that was already on, but power levers as required, minus 50% if engine not warm. Yeah, it's not really warm, I would say. It is in the green, but electrical equipment on as required, flight instruments and avionics set as required, strobe light check on. We already put that one on. Position lights, landing and taxi lights as required. Let's do them on, and position also, why not? Do we see any lights? I don't see any lights. Ah, there's a small light, and there's a small light over there. And I'm curious. The landing light is probably the one in front, of course. I do have a toggle for it on the keyboard, but I forgot, so let's just check it like so. God damn it. Ah, now it works. Ah, there are the landing lights. But we don't really need those, I would say. That would be a waste of energy. There are some minor lights down below on. I wonder which ones that are. Is that probably taxi? Yes, yeah, that are the taxi lights. Also don't really need those. And then the position lights. So we have a little strobe going in the left red. And I think right green lights. And then I assume the strobe is the blinking one. Yes. And the position lights are the red and the green one. Yes, indeed. Let's do those both on. I must say they are pretty minuscule. I think they only provide a function in the dark. Let's reset this one and get back in there. So avionics master on, power levers less than 50%, check. Electrical equipment on as required. Flight instruments and avionics set as required. I'm not going to put the autopilot and stuff. I will do that later on. I'm still learning as I go. So this is all good. I would say strobe light is on. Position lights, landing and taxi. We have the position and the strobe on. Landing and taxi not needed. Trim set to take off position manually. Do we have a trim button? No ID. No, we have over here. Yeah, but the problem with this one is that I don't really see an indicator, so to say. I can trim a little bit forward or down, but I have no... okay, it is, the indicator is the little black notch on the white bar. So it was already on takeoff, so we are good. Maybe a little bit so. So tick item, and then we will be going for the taxi, but that will be in the next episode, guys. Hope to see you there. Hope we will make our way to Nassau safely and explore the Caribbean in what looks to be a thunderstorm, but also pretty nice weather, I would say. Hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next one. For the meantime, don't forget, always do keep on gaming. See you later.